Hey guys, this is Shadi, the owner of Indy Cigs. We got a couple shops in Indianapolis, Indiana, and we do quite a bit of business with Kanger. And Kanger sent me the AeroTank Mega to review. So the AeroTank Mega is essentially the AeroTank's bigger brother. I believe they made it to compete more with the Nautilus. It's got the 22 millimeter base, same as the Nautilus. And it's got an improved dual coil and improved airflow. It also holds quite a bit more juice than the AeroTank, the original AeroTank. So let's review it. As far as aesthetics, it's badass. It looks really, really good on here. It sits flush on there. I like the build of it. I like the design of it. I like the new improved adjustable airflow compared to the original AeroTank. It's got these little volume. Let's see if you can see them. Can't really see. Okay, so you can kind of see these little notches right here. It's kind of like a volume on the remote, or how many bars of service you have on your cell phone. So I have it open at the highest airflow because that's how I like it. The way you fill it, you unscrew it like this. You would fill your juice down the outside ring, of course. There's about 4 holes there. It kind of looks like the nuclear symbol to me, but it's a lot easier to fill if you have a pointy tip bottle. Oh, just poured a little bit of juice out. No big deal. This is the new coil. So this is the new Kanger dual coil. It kind of looks like the Aspire dual coils without, except it's got the signature Kanger stem at the top. I have not broken one down because I only have a handful of them from Kanger, but if there are enough requests, I will break one down and see what it looks like on the inside. This is a 2 ohm coil. We're going to screw this back into here. Screw that back together. Okay, so let's talk about the pros and cons of this device. The pros: aesthetically, badass device. Adjustable airflow is really, really cool. It slides really, really nicely, and I think it, even when it's blocked, it really does block the airflow, and when you tune it down, it really does tune down the airflow. So it actually works, and I'm very happy with that. The other pros: I think it produces great amounts of vapor, and I think it produces really, really good flavor. I've got the Nautilus right here, and if I were to have to compare the Nautilus over the AeroTank Mega, I would say the AeroTank Mega wins. I really, really like the Nautilus, and I really wanted it to be a game-changing clearomizer for me, but it just didn't. It wasn't really all that our customers and our employees had hyped it up to be, and I just am not a huge fan of the Nautilus personally. I think the Kangertech is much better. I've only vaped on the Nautilus for about a day or two, and I just didn't really dig it as much as I dig the AeroTank Mega. But there are a few cons to this AeroTank Mega. One of those being the airflow tends to spin freely, so if you do have it in your pocket, you can either close your airflow or you can change it to where you don't want it to be. So it would be really cool if they had a locking mechanism on here, same kind of concept as the Nautilus, that it it would stop at certain spots and you could just lock it there without it spinning to a different airflow. So that is one downside to it. The other downside I've recognized in it, and I also watched this on Phil Basardo's video, is that when you hold it upside down, it looks somewhat full, but then when you flip it over, it looks like it's about empty. So there's just so much dead space on this tank. And I know Kanger has been dealing with this for the longest time. They've always kind of had this dead space in all their tanks, but this one seems to have the most, because even when I fill it completely full, it'll only look a little bit more full. It'll look about halfway full. So there is dead space. It would be cool if maybe there was, maybe make it a top filler or a fill screw up there or something that you could stick a syringe in, kind of like the fill hole of a K-Fun. Those would be some good recommendations. But as far as performance, I think it outperforms the Nautilus. The coils, I just changed my coil yesterday, and I'd had that coil in for about 8 days. And typically, if I'm using a clearomizer, I have to change my coil every 3 days because I'm a pretty heavy vapor. But let's see how this thing, let's see how it works. So I'm vaping it at about 10 watts on my ZNA 30. So we're at 10 watts. So I'm actually vaping Sure by Jimmy the Juice Man. This is the last of it. So the tiny amount I spilt on my keyboard was precious. That's the last I've got of it. But anyway, so let's take a couple more hits. So you can see that you get really good vapor production out of this. And even though it's 6 milligram, if I were to put the same exact juice in here, if I were to use the Nautilus on here, I don't get that kind of throat hit that I do out of the Mega Tank from the Nautilus. So I'm just a huge fan of this device. I think it's a really, really awesome piece. I don't know what it's going to be priced at yet. I believe it's going to be somewhere close to what the Nautilus is priced at, but I think it's definitely going to be worth it, especially considering how Kanger is going to have the same coil for all their devices, which is really nice because it's kind of a pain as the store owner to have to stock coils for the Nautilus and then stock coils for all the other Aspire dual coil tanks. So it's kind of nice that Kanger is using the same coil for all their devices from here on out. So props to them for that. Other than that, if you guys have any questions or any comments or anything, this is the first review I've ever done. If there's anything you guys want from me or any other products you want to review, I know that I'm not very good at it, but I'll get better in time. But anyway, I'll leave my email and our website on the comments of this video, and vape on, my friends.